Hi everyone, and welcome back to my quest system tutorial series in UE4. In the last episode we got the character to interact with NPCs or quest givers, and we got to just display the name of the quest. Okay, so the next step is to, instead of just displaying the name of the quest, to actually display a quest dialog box. So for this I'm going to go with the style that's used in MMOs such as World of Warcraft and display a quest diary entry here with the description of the quest, the objectives, and possible rewards at the bottom. So that's the kind of thing we're going to go for this quest. But obviously you could do it any way you like. The process is pretty much the same. So if you wanted it to be just a dialogue window where normal conversation and then award the quest to the player, you can totally do that as well. But for now, let's just focus on getting a World of Warcraft style quest objective box come up, quest window. So I'm going to go into my quest system folder and then quest UI, and we're going to make a brand new widget. So I'm going to go into Widget Blueprint, and this is going to be the quest UI, and this one is going to have no canvas panel because we don't need it absolute, and instead we're going to use a size box and a border inside that size box. So the size box, we're going to set the size of this box to be a width and height override in the details panel over here, and the width I'm going to do as, let's try 250, and height let's go for 400. Let's see what that looks like. So to see what it looks like, we're going to go to fill screen and change it to desired. Okay, that looks kind of the right shape, that's what I want. And then I'm going to go to border, and I'm going to change the colour of the border over here in appearance. It says brush colour. Click on that, and I'm going to choose a previously made one, like so. Okay. So in here, I'm going to have several things. I'm going to have the top bar here, which says the quest. I guess we could have the quest name there, the quest objective, and maybe a description of the quest, and maybe some rewards at the bottom. And at the end we'll have two buttons. We'll have accept or reject. Okay, so let's begin this layout. So we need a vertical box, and the vertical box once again stacks things in its contents vertically. So the first thing we're going to have is a horizontal box for our top bar. Actually, no, we won't use a horizontal box. We'll use a text box. Let's go for text, or text rather, not text box. So in there, that'd be the title of our quest. Then the next bit is going to hold the description. So there, I'm going to put another border in, and in there, I'm going to put in the text again, like so. And the border, I'm going to make that colour again, but because it's got opacity on it, it should appear thicker and different in colour. And I'm going to give the border a padding, so I'm going to give it let's do 5 on top and 5 on bottom. Okay, that'll give us some nice padding between the different elements we've got going on here. So I'm going to do that again. So border into a vertical box, and again I'm going to choose the same brush colour that I have above it, and a text field in that border, and again with that border I'm going to put in a 5 padding top and bottom, and you can see it giving that little spacer between the two, which is quite nice, little spacer. And at the very bottom we're going to need a horizontal box, and this is going to contain the 2 buttons, so but they will be stored horizontally, so next to each other. So we need 2 buttons. There's 1 and there's 2. Okay, so the basic layout is here. We just need to arrange this to make it look a bit nicer. So I'm going to go my text block for the title. So my title, I'm going to have central aligned. So justification in appearance to center, and I'll change the size of it to be 12 Yeah, 12. Then that'll be done for that. The next text block is the objectives. So this will be the actual objective description and a list of them. So in here we're going to have various objectives. So let's make this 12 as well. I'm going to keep it left justified for now. And the description box again, we'll do 12 again, and keep it left justified. The buttons will be slightly different because we need to put text boxes in them, and we also want to change their spacing. So we've got one on the left, one on the right. So we could click on one. So we click on. So the next bit we need to do is do on the buttons. So the buttons, we're going to click fill on each one. So we've got them evenly across, but I'm going to give them some padding. So each button, I'm going to give some padding on its appropriate side in the middle here. So this one will have the left, and this one will have right padding. So go to the padding on the right here. I'm going to go, I don't know, let's do 30. Yeah, 30. And button 1 on the left, it's going to have 30 as well. And that keeps them nice and even across the board there. So these buttons are going to have text on them, so I need to put some text inside the button. So drag that into there, and that into there. And this text block, again, size 12. And this one's going to say reject. And the other one is going to say accept. Size 12, like so. And we can change the colour of them. I may change the colour of the button text, in fact. But text blocks I'll leave as white to contrast my dark background. So to change the colour of it, you've got up here the colour and opacity settings for the text. So I'm going to say it's black. And this one is black. Excellent. So the next job is to get it so we have the buttons fixed to the bottom and these text blocks having a bit of space in the whole entire window. To achieve this, we're going to click on our text block for our main body of our quest, and the border part of it, we want to change it to fill, and the other one, the objectives part, also to fill. Now these are shared evenly. I want to give more space to the description and less to the objective. So on the objective one it says next to fill 1.0, change that to something like 0.2, and it'll give you the better ratio between these two. Okay, I think we'll stop here for that one. We'll click compile and we'll then go to the graph editor. So the graph editor, we now need to tie up details of the quest here, here and here. Okay, so what we're going to do is, first of all in the graph, is set some variables. So the variable we want to set here is, the first one is going to be quest, and its variable type will be a quest. So the quest, make sure it's the parent quest, and that means that we can now set a quest to this quest dialog and then pull stuff from it. Click compile, go back to the designer, and I'm going to click on my top title text block here, and where it says content text, next to the text field I can click bind. I'm going to create a binding, or I can choose the quest detail. So quest here, you can see I've got name. I can choose the name of this quest, and that means that text there will swap out for the quest.name, whatever the quest may be. And once we go through and add our quest objectives and description, we can add them to this list too. So let's just wipe out the name first and click compile. We'll come back to this in a minute to add the rest. So on our third person character, when we've got the interaction with the NPC or quest giver, this is how we're detecting whether or not it's a quest giver, and we're just printing a string. Well, instead of printing a string, what you want to do is create a widget. So we're going to go create widget, and from there we want to be able to choose our quest UI. Now immediately we don't get the option to add the quest to it. That's because we need to make the variable public. At the moment it's private, meaning that if we go to the graph editor of our quest UI, you see quest here has no eyeball next to it. That means it's private. Click on this and click compile. Once you clicked on the eye, you want to go down to expose on spawn. That allows us to set this variable as soon as we spawn it in. Click compile, go back to your third person character, and it should appear. If it doesn't, just switch it back to none, then back to the quest UI and it will appear again. So from here, drag that to the as quest from the caster quest and click compile. So this will create the widget. It's not added to the viewport yet or added to anything else. We're going to add it now to the HUD on our game mode. So currently our HUD is empty, spawning on the game mode. But what I want to do is spawn the quest UI in a certain location every single time. So what I can do is I can set a panel here to basically slot it in. So in here I'm going to go canvas, drag another canvas panel into my HUD canvas and drag this out like so. I don't need to change the size of it, I can leave it as is. Click compile, and that means it's going to spawn it in the top left hand corner of this canvas panel here, so it should cover the right size here. So all I need to do is make sure I tick the size to content box on my details panel for my canvas. It will shrink right down because it's empty, but don't worry about that for now. Click compile, and I'm going to name, so I've got to name this canvas panel too. So quest dialog holder. So we can now call that up and make it so we can place it into it. We will need to make it a variable before we can do that, so tick the is variable button next to the title. So back to our third person character. So to add it to the HUD, we need to first of all get the game mode and then cast that to our game mode. And then from here, we can pull out and get the HUD widget. So the widget contains everything we want to use. So get quest dialog holder, and we can now add child to canvas. And from there, we can drag that out, and it will add that to the canvas here. So click compile. If we go back to talking to our NPC, you can see it now spawns the quest dialog. Note that it's all bunched together. Okay, the reason being is we need to tell the quest dialog to actually use its size box settings. So let's go back to our player character. On your third person character, after we add the child to the canvas, we're going to pull out from return value and set auto size. And we're going to tick the little tick box. Click compile, and we should now see the window pop up in its correct size, like so. It's a bit small, but let's fix that in our. We can always fix that in our quest dialog widget itself. So let's go into my quest widget, and let's increase the size of this thing. So width override, we're going to go to 400, and here we're going to go to 900. How's that look? Yeah, not bad. So I may need to change the size of the text a little bit. So let's go back here, tweak this up a little bit. Let's go back to 24, I think, for these ones. And I'm going to turn off bold here. And here, click compile. Actually, it's a bit lanky, isn't it? A bit thin. So let's go back to our size box and increase the width a little bit. So let's say 450, maybe 550. Yeah, that's a bit more like it. Click compile, and let's go back to our game. So to test this, we're going to go up to our character, and it now looks a lot better. Yeah, we're much happier with that now. So the next job is to make it so we've got control away from the character onto the UI, so we can choose to accept or reject it, and when we click the reject button we're going to make the window close. So let's go back into our Quest UI widget, this thing here, and what we're going to do is we're going to click on the graph editor and type in construct event construct, and as soon as this window is created we're going to tell it to change the game mode. So to do that we need, not game mode, the game input. So let's first of all get the player controller and change the input to UI only. You want to set the in-widget to focus to self, because we want it to focus on this widget, and mouse we're going to choose the lock always. Once we've done that we need to then to show the mouse. So after we get the player controller we're going to go from there and go set show mouse cursor, hook that up and tick the little tick. So this will make the window show up and take control of it. So now I need to make it so when we click the reject button it will remove it from the parent and basically do the opposite of this. So let's go down to our reject button, click on it, and in the details panel down the bottom you'll see on clicked and a plus button. Click this and it'll add an event for you for this button. From here we're going to remove from parent, target self, which is good, that's what you want, and then we're going to do the exact opposite of what we see here. So I'm going to get the player controller again, set input to game only, and also set show mouse cursor to false, and that is it. Click compile and let's test it. So I can go up to my NPC, push E to interact, I've got the quest name appearing, and I've clicked reject, it closes the window, and I've got back control of the character. Do it again, can't move, hit reject, off we go. So now we've got that working, let's now add the other quest details we need for this to show up a bit better. So on the quest system, we're going to go back into our quest and quest parent, we're going to add a couple more variables. So the first variable we're going to add is description, and the description will also be a text, and click compile. And whilst we're here we might as well test this out as well and add it to the Quest UI. So I'm going to go to the Quest UI, go to design mode, click on this text block here for the description, and on the bind we can click on this quest and then description, and that will now set the description to that text field. Click compile, and to remind you how we do that, we just go into quests and quest 001, and here I can type in my description for my quest. So I go, hello traveller, how are you? Please take your time to explore the area and familiarize yourself with the locals. Okay, click compile, that's now done. So if I go up and click on the quest log, now we can see the quest doesn't actually wrap in its text field, so we need to tell it when to wrap. So let's go into our Quest UI. This way you should always do stuff one at a time, allows you to fix things as you go. But if I click on my text block here and on the right hand side scroll down, I can see it wrapping, and I can do auto wrap. However, you may get a bit of flashiness happen, because for one frame it'll do it just one line of it like we just saw, and then it will snap it into wrap. But we can also pre-compute the wrap text at value here, and that we know what we can do because we've got a fixed size. So the width of this is 550, so if I go to my text field and choose it to wrap at 550, and we might as well do that to the objectives while we're here as well. So let's compile and test that out now, and we should see that work a bit better, like so. Perfect. So that'll do for this episode. We still got to do the objectives part of the quest log. We'll do that in the next part, where we start building out the objectives and their data structures, and then converting that into a text field to be able to display on the screen. So it's a bit more involved than just having just a variable. So join us next time, or you can watch it right now on Patreon if you're a supporter. Head over there and support me for at least $1, and you can get to see the video right now. Thanks for watching. If you want to support me just like these people have, please head over there, and you can get not just access to the next part of this video, but also other exclusives, and access to the Discord, where a growing community is. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.